Shalom, this is your host, Pastor Enoch Phiri. Welcome to The Journey, a program where we profile prominent members of our community whom by the power and the grace of God have made it to the top. Today, ladies and gentlemen, I'm chatting to Sarah Thabethe. Welcome to the program, ma'am.
Thank you, Pastor.
We were inspired last week as you were sharing with us about your upbringing and the values which has been instilled in you.
Yes.
Sister Sarah, you are such an inspirational, motivational, and powerful young woman who has taken the media by storm. How did this great journey start?
Like I mentioned the week before, that I started off not knowing that I'd start off in that field, just in terms of the television side of things, because I did go to the National School of the Arts from standard 8 to matric.
Did your father give you a blessing?
Eventually.
Yeah, okay.
But I'm sure my dad is on some, no, you're not going to leave this great school and then just go and throw you and just act, you know? And little did you know, when you get there, you have, drama is not just acting, but you've got 8 other subjects over and above your academic subjects, and you got to do well at all of them. So it requires a lot of discipline. And eventually my mom did some convincing, and then that happened. And after that, didn't focus on drama, went into IT. And then how I came back into the arts or entertainment was by dropping off my cousin's key, because I was using his car to go and get my driver's license. So I said to him, I'll get my license, I'm not going to fail. And when I get it, I will come drop your car off at your work. And I did exactly that. And they were auditioning for a show called Crux, which then I
But then your brother your cousin was working for the show, isn't it?
Yes, he was working for the show at that time. So I give him the keys. So the executive producer happens to see me. He says, "Hey, how are you?" He says, "Oh, this is my cousin, etc." "Oh, listen, we're auditioning. Would you like to?" I'm like, "Why not?" So I'm sitting there, and then I do the audition, and then I'm like, "Okay, great, thanks, bye." And then I go to work, and then when I get to work, I don't know at this point, because it was so long ago, when they told me I actually got the job. But for the longest time, I did my IT work, and I was recording Crux, and then it moved to a point of
So while you were recording Crux, you didn't quit your day job on the side?
No, I didn't quit my day job. They were understanding enough until they were not understanding at all, and then kind of had to make a choice, and it was at a very young age, but for that age in the IT space, you were making some great money, to television, which wasn't paying that much. But I chose to then jump ship, and the rest has been history. And then from there on, then everything else happened. And then after that came the desire to want to know what happens behind the scenes, you know. So I would then start to learn, how do you do this, how do you do that, get to the point where you're now writing your own scripts, you're doing your own research. Fast forward, you get to the point where you now learn how to direct, and then now I was directing multicam, and now I was producing, and then the next thing I've got my own company, and then I'm pitching my own shows, and then I'm producing my own shows, and then an editor doesn't come to work, and I've got to cut a show because he's gone off with his girlfriend somewhere. I'm calling on the phone, and I'm like, tell me how to do this. I can see the picture in my head. How do I just lay it and cut it? And from that day on, that's how I knew how to offline my own show. You know, and so all of these things just progressed and got to where I was, and then you start to look for, and then God opens you to other things. But just in terms of that space, that's where,
Now, how did you deal with the pressure of now you are a face which visits people's homes uninvited? People recognize you everywhere.
You know, I don't I always believe, and I always say this, that it's a job. To this day, I'll sit with people and you get shocked and say, oh, Konji, I'm like, oh, Konji, you know? Because I never went into television to be famous.
Wow.
I went into television because I loved the art. And then by virtue of being in television, then people recognize you and. So I'm very shy, believe it or not. I talk a lot, but I'm very shy. So yeah, you just like the attention, but you grow up and you learn to manage it in the way Sarah would, you know, with, but that's it. Like it wasn't to be famous. So it was never about fame for me.
Wow.
It was always, I just love success. I love money. I love making money. I've always said, I've always, you had dreams, never knew how I was going to do what I'm doing now, but I've always said I want to work for myself. I didn't know the how, and that's what God takes care of. So just, it leads you to everything that you learn, that you encounter, that your challenges, everything leads you to where you are now. And I still believe where I am now is not where, that's not where I end. There's a lot more. I don't know what it is, but I do believe it's greatness because of who God is. You know? Yeah.
I've noticed that your family, you are all over on television. Tamingu Veni, Tokozani, Mzwandile. How did this come about?
I don't know. I don't know. And I don't know. It just happened, I guess. Yeah.
Wow.
I can speak more on the Nkosi side of things because I think my love for the industry and for the arts began from Lindani Nkosi.
Yeah.
Because he's also studied drama, adverts, etc. We would go watch plays. And my parents actually my parents loved the arts for some bizarre reason. But they would always take us to plays, to shows, so you kind of, like you watch Sarah Thabethe and you're like, oh wow, that's amazing. And you want to do this. Believe it or not, I wanted to become a doctor all my life. Even when you were playing house with your cousins.
Yeah, you were always a doctor.
Yes, because my house was always untidy. So my mother's like, yes, because things were always a mess. Just because I would be the resident doctor, everyone comes to me and they say, we have Villa Payas Kabas, ufunde, so that you can be able to get somebody to help you or whatever. But so I thought I was going to become a doctor. And I thought that was a calling. Until I realized, no, I'm just there. It's not for me.
You thought you'd be a doctor and God had other plans.
Yes, God had other plans.
That's something, because there's a scripture in the Bible, I think it's in Proverbs chapter 16 verse 3, where the Bible says, commit your plans to the Lord and God will succeed them, or God will prosper them. And it's amazing how God can redirect you to where He wants you to be so that you can effectively minister to the people on His behalf.
That is so true.
We're going to take a music break, and when we come back, more about the journey of Sarah Thabethe, and stay tuned. Welcome back, ladies and gentlemen. I'm in conversation with Sarah Thabethe, sharing with us her journey. Sarah, I know that God has taken you from very far and to where you are today. And when you look back, I believe you can just say, Ebenezer, glory be to God. Currently, at a spot, at a place where you are, what would be your gratitude towards God? What would you say maybe to somebody if you were given an opportunity to testify, looking at where God has picked you from to where you are today?
Sure. Sounds like an easy question, but it actually isn't. I think I'm grateful to God, firstly for the gift of life.
Yeah.
Because I think, I know, last year, for the first time, I could, things flashed before my eyes where you in a situation where anyone could just pull a trigger and someone could have pulled the trigger. My brother and I could have gone in one split second. And that for me was everything that I tell people. You know, they always say that the same God that you experience publicly or that you share about publicly, you must have experienced privately.
Absolutely.
And that's when in your own private space to say, I know that I know because you know, not because you're just trying to say it for somebody to believe it and you don't believe it. We were hijacked, my brother and I were hijacked last year.
That's it.
And I mean, I think one of the weirdest hijackings in probably where you're being hijacked, your heads are down, and you moved from your car to their car, and there's just this one guy, the one that was driving my car, who just took interest and was like, oh, I'm so sorry, my sister, I didn't see it was you, oh, you know, oh, and your brother, oh, you know, okay, sorry, oh, I thought...
Your brother, the one that you are jacked with, is also on TV, isn't it?
Oh, right, in Gubeli, yes.
Yeah.
So, and God works in mysterious ways because my parents were actually going to my parents' house, but my parents were not home. He just needed to go grab something, so he's got a key. I'm on the phone with a brother who we motivate each other, we talk to each other about God, etc. And he says, I've been trying to get hold of you. We're like, we've been trying to get hold of you, lost his phone. And he says, I just pray a blessing over your life and your family and whatever. Meanwhile, these people are already circulating. I don't even know. They're in the complex. And the phone cuts. And I said, the network
It was
is bad.
in the complex where this drama took place.
Yes, very safe complex, but very few units there. So, and you kind of, these people tailgated us. So I'm thinking the security guard is allowing them because he knows them. But long and short of it, then we get hijacked right at the gate. So you can see it on the cameras if you play back. Like we've got the footage and how it happens. They travel with you. They throw the tracker out of the car, and then they move you to the other car. But God is always with you, even in that time, where this guy's got a gun at the back. He wants your wedding ring, he wants everything. I'm sitting in my son's car seat. My brother's sitting in the middle. And then they eventually move us over. But this guy was driving my car. I believe God was using him. Even in that moment, because in the other car, like these people are just not, you can just see it in their faces. Well, you can't see their faces, but you can just sense. He just decides to hop into the other car and says, I decided to come and sit with you guys and keep you company. So my car goes off and he's having a chat. He says, oh, I know it just looks wrong, but you guys motivate us. And I'm like, you're being hijacked. And you, my brother, do you still go to Soweto? But we're not allowed to look at them.
And you're having a normal conversation?
Yes, and then you hear a phone call and how far are you guys? No, we're almost there, whatever, where are they? And you can hear him go, they're here, what should we do? At that moment, you didn't hear what the next person said they should do, but you're driving a little bit and it's quiet in the car and you're hearing this guy fix his gun. You don't know whether he's fixing it because if cops come or whatever, because they're driving or they're going to shoot us. I managed to get my wallet, put it under my tights, and thinking wherever we're going to land, I need some form of identification. If they shoot us, then people know who we are. But something in me was like, we're not dying, not today, And that's when Psalms 23 for me became real. We always prayed, but it became real. It's for every season in your life, because when I then prayed that prayer, and when they say, if you had to ask for one wish or one thing from God, what would it be? All I said was, God, can you please give us the gift of life so that my brother can fulfill the purpose that you have for him, and so he can be a father to his daughter and a husband to his wife, and me. Can I see my children grow? So that I can be the wife that you want me to be, and whatever. But it was not material, not anything. I was like, my mom cannot lose her 2 children all in one go. It's not going to happen. I'm just asking you to spare us and give us the gift of life. And because he did that, I mean, even you've heard situations where once they then take you out of their car and they drop you off, they dropped off. You couldn't see beyond your foot. That's how dark it was at this place where we were dropped off. And this guy said, don't worry, we'll drop you off, you'll find help. But they're still taking your car. Dropping you off, they could have just shot you. No one would have known who shot you. Whatever, we found our way, we found help, just help came. I was able to call my husband, call my mom. And, but then that for me said, he allowed for me to live. He allowed for us to live. Doesn't mean that going forward, things will be easy. But even with the challenges that you come across, you are going to conquer, because he did not allow me to live so that I can suffer. There's a bigger plan. Mine is to every day try and find out what that plan is and allow him to direct me towards that plan. But it was not in vain that our lives were spared. It could have gone either way. Mercy said no, but it's for a reason. And every day I'm appreciative of that. Like I don't even sweat the small stuff anymore. Like it's amazing how life-changing situations like that can alter the way you look at life in its entirety.
Absolutely.
Where things that would distract me and move me away from don't bother me. Like I'm in the moment. When I'm here with you, I'm here with you. When I'm elsewhere, I'm elsewhere. Whether with my sons, I'm with my sons. I will answer that email when I answer it. When I'm at work, I'm at work. When I'm with my husband, I'm with my husband. So learn to be true to every moment, because that moment could be the last.
Wow.
You know, so I treasure life. And I think, not that I took it for granted, but it's got value and it's got meaning, and there's a reason why. So yeah, with everything else, I guess I can speak. But for me, what's more profound was what happened to me recently, which is just His grace, which then translates to everything that has happened in life and things that you survived, moved through, gone past. You know, you look back and you realize what I thought would kill me or would destroy me at a particular time in my life didn't. That's how good He is, you know, and yeah.
Powerful.
Yeah.
Well, what a powerful testimony. It's amazing that even in the midst of demons, God will raise one demon to speak for you. Yeah. And even to initiate that your life is spared for you to fulfill purpose in life. Sister Sarah, thank you very much for having you on our program today.
Thank
you
so much.
May the good Lord bless you, and we really appreciate you. Thank you very much, ma'am.
Thank you so much for the invite.
Powerful testimony. You know, I'm reminded, ladies and gentlemen, of what the Bible says about Moses. You know, the same river that killed many boys. You know, where the Egyptians would throw babies in the Nile River. The same river gave Moses hope. And I believe that whatever has killed many, that will give you hope. Thank you very much for watching our program. Till we meet next week, and God bless you.